2018 Pac52 season ended with some competitive racing at one of the world's most spectacular sailing arenas, San Francisco Bay. The esteemed St. Francis Yacht Club hosted the 5th and final regatta of the year. Beautiful fall weather brought spectacular views, but lighter than normal sailing conditions. The races started on the west side of Alcatraz Island, with the weather mark generally just east of the Golden Gate Bridge. The leeward mark brought the Pac52s back around Alcatraz and within view of the San Francisco skyline. Going into the Cup, all 4 top boats had an opportunity to finish the season in a better position with only 42 points between them and just 5 points between Rio and Bad Pac. On Friday, an early season low pressure system brought overcast skies and a nice sea breeze, which would build throughout the course of the day. In the first race of the day, the fleet found themselves spread out as crews adjusted to the local bay conditions. The next 2 races, the competition heated up, and good tactical decisions would yield results. Multiple lead and position changes were the norm in race 2 and 3. Minucious Rio crossed the line first in race 1 and 3. Last year's champ, Bad Pac, took a bullet in race 2.
So one of the challenges today is that with the current and the wind shifts, there were just dramatic lead changes. People were going from first to last in one leg and back again. Very, very challenging. And we're making bets on the tide that normally work out, and for some reason it didn't work out this time. So it was a very, very dynamic, very, very animated race course, much more so than it was 2 weeks ago at the Big Boat Series. So really good sailing.
Partly sunny skies and light winds greeted the fleet on Saturday. 3 races were scheduled, but only 2 were run as the winds fell off early in the afternoon. Rio would continue to race fast and smart and earned 2 more wins in race 4 and 5.
I think our tactician did a fantastic job starting us off perfectly in all the races today.
It wasn't a very typical San Francisco day. The one was more out of the southerly direction, so it's kind of coming off the city and provided for some pretty big shifts. I think we had a pretty good strategy before the races even started, and we had a certain side that we thought was favored, and we kind of stuck to our strategy. Luckily, we had good enough starts to where we could actually execute on our strategy pretty well, and I think we did a good job defending our lead, and luckily we came away with 2 firsts.
Going into Sunday, the final race day of the 2018 season, Invisible Hand had the season championship in the bag, but was still battling with Rio for the Pac52 Cup title. In race 6, the first race of the day, Frank Slootman knew he needed a win, but also needed the other boats in front of Rio if he was going to take the Cup and the season title.
of match racing tactics. Obviously, Muniz was solidly in first with 4 points. So with only 2 races, it's not easy to rack up 4 points. So we harassed him pretty good at the start, and that kind of worked out because he hit the pin, had to go back. And then we set another trap for him at the top mark, at the final top mark, final rounding, to see if we could let the other 2 boats back in, because we were in first at that moment. And we wanted to see if we could push him back into fourth to pick up 3 points. So we were doing some crafty maneuvering out there. Didn't quite work out. Muniz was awfully fast. In spite of the fact, of what we did to him, he managed to win that race. So congrats to him. They're really well done for the Rio racing team.
First race, we actually at the start line we hit the pin, and we had to do a 360. So we were in 4th place coming into the race, and by a couple of lanes going up and down, we caught up to the 2nd place, and the last leg we caught up and became 1st place, which was great. We got a bullet in that one. Tactical decisions, were the most important. We went to the city front, we caught up a little bit. Every bit we caught up, and then what really got us to the 1st place was that we did a Zambuca right around the top mark, the last mark, and everybody else went straight in, and there was more wind and flood on that side of the bay, so we were able to catch up and pass everyone.
The results for the season and the regatta were locked in after race 6. This gave crews a chance to really enjoy the last race of the season on San Francisco Bay.
It's still great sailing up here. It's flat water. Even 10 knots of breeze is fun to sail in. When it's 20 and you're going downwind and you're have the spinnaker up and you're going 20 knots, that's a lot of fun. So.
The Pac52 Cup trophy would go to Rio after 3 days of superb sailing. Frank Slootman and crew aboard Invisible Hand would take the top podium spot for the season.
Our game is consistency. If you want the season, you can't be a flash in the pan. You have to consistently sail well and keep your points low in order to win. And that's the game that we played. We sailed well in every regatta, and that's how you win a whole season.
This has been an exciting sophomore year for the Pac52 class. The boats, the crews, the venues have proven why this class is where the action is on the West Coast. The 2019 season gets started in February at the 52 Midwinters hosted by the San Diego Yacht Club. Stay tuned to all of our social media accounts and website for the latest news and updates. We'll see you soon.